listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Have you heard of Verbal? Verbal is an audio streaming destination for all types of audio creators like myself, and anyone that loves listening to audio. Verbal supports audio creators through their station model and helps listeners connect to meaningful content to listen to. And a few other things that makes Verbal special is the unique creator tools such as snippets and playlists, better discovery, streaming, it's free, and users can start monetizing right away by joining the Ambassador program or with only 1,000 station listens a month. I'm proud to say that I'm a Verbal Ambassador, a chosen thought leader in the category of mental health. And you can learn more as well as check out my podcast station and my curated mental health playlist at www.verbal.com. That's www.verbl.com. Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 19. Today I'm going to talk about great expectations. No one succeeds beyond his or her wildest expectations unless he or she begins with some wild expectations. That is a quote by CHARELL. What are your expectations for your life? Are you excited about your future, or are you facing it with apprehension and fear? For most people, the future holds too many uncertainties, and the fear of what might happen tends to overshadow the ray of light that represents the life they ultimately desire. One of the hardest things to do in life is to lift yourself out of your current circumstance and step up to the level of the life you desire. We all live with an unconscious expectation of ourselves and our own lives. This expectation not only determines what we have in our lives, but also represents what we're willing to settle for. Expectation is a very powerful emotion and one that very few people ever learn to fully cultivate. Whatever you expect with certainty is what you will get in your life. Expectation is the emotional state where an idea becomes so real that you feel it even though you can't hold it yet. Expectation is like an invisible magnet that will attract into your life that which you expect. When you expect something, you activate and engage those parts of your mind and your nervous system that can empower you to think the unthinkable and do the undoable. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate expectation is to develop a very clear vision for your life. Most people never even make the time to really define what they want from their lives. But even those who do follow the hope and pray strategy. They kind of know what they want, but they don't believe that they can have it. So they hope that something will happen and come along their life path to fulfill their desires. Expectation, however, is completely different mindset. It's a mindset of absolute certainty that can be consciously cultivated. Inherent in hoping, there's a sense of doubt that you always hold two opposing results in your mind's eye. When you expect something, you know it's definitely happening. The very focus of your mind dwells upon one definite end result. To turn hope into an expectation, you simply eliminate doubt and fear by eliminating the opposing outcome. Instead of seeing something fail or succeed, you now only see the success. With expectations, your actions, your words, and your imagination dwells upon and reflects you already having and being exactly what you want. When you expect something, you remove the doubt that is inherent in hoping. An example of this is a mother who's pregnant, right? And we would say that she's expecting. In other words, she knows beyond a shadow of doubt exactly what's going to happen. Although there are some details that are still unclear, she's certain about the fact that she will have a baby and not something unknown. On the emotional level, she can feel the result because she's expecting it, although she can't see and touch it yet. What you expect for your life is exactly that. When you start to expect for your life that which you absolutely desire, your whole mindset turns from uncertain hoping and wishing to the certainty of expecting. The images you encourage and entertain in your mind's eye, what you say to yourself and everybody else reflects only the results you are committed to. So I'm going to share more in the next segment. Today's episode is brought to you by Ivy Elite Training. Are you looking for low-cost professional development workshops, topics like emotional intelligence, diversity and inclusion, and more? Then visit www.ivyelitetraining.com. That's www.ivyelitetraining.com. Most people expect the worst and hope for the best. Our cultural conditioning has taught us things like don't get your hopes up, just in case you might be disappointed. We've been taught to aim low as possible, and everything above that will be a bonus, right? Well, that's actually wrong. Remember that what you expect with certainty is what you will get in your life. You have to break away from the autopilot of the masses that just settle for an ordinary life, a life where they're really not happy but are not happy enough to do something about it. If you want to lift your life and the quality of your life to a higher level than what it is at the moment, you need to start by raising your expectations. Raise your expectations of what you are as a person and what you believe you deserve. See, what you believe you deserve is based on your expectations. When you lift your expectations to a higher level, you raise your own standards, and raising your standards is the first step to improving your life. When you expect only the very best, you will only get the very best. What you earn right now is what you expect to earn. The amount of free time you have right now is what you expect to have as free time. When you expect the best, it's not like expecting something good or something similar, but is the best and only the best. You have to stop settling for less that you can be or have. On a deep psychological level, this is exactly what creates your expectations, and that is why a lifetime of settling for less than you can be creates an expectation of that's okay. It becomes the standard that you're willing to settle for. So think of yourself as the pregnant mother who expects, not hopes, only the best, and with her imagination, she's able to live the result in magnificent detail until she eventually has the experience of physically holding her expectation. You have to nurture and care for your desires, and only by becoming unreasonable in your expectations can you turn your deepest desires into reality. Expectations are ideas that are built on solid rock. They are unshakable. Unlike hopes and wishes that will wash away with the first storm that comes along. Now, you need no special skills or knowledge to raise your expectations. You simply need a decision that from this point onwards, you will never again settle for anything less than you can possibly be. The difference between hoping for something with uncertainty and depending on something with expectation is nothing but the way you control and direct the focus of your mind. What you say to yourself, the images you imagine, and your behavior are what you can consciously control and direct. But only if you choose to. If not, you'll revert back to autopilot of the masses and just go with the flow of whatever comes along. The cultural autopilot is the emotional default, and only through conscious and consistent nurturing of these desires and emotions can you live life by your own standards and create the expectations that will lead you to a life of abundance and fulfillment. Great expectations create great results. When you expect the best, it becomes a directional mechanism that will guide you to seeking out and finding what you expect. The difference between great expectations and weak hopes is nothing but mindset. A mindset that can make the difference between living a life of fulfillment and one of desperation and frustration. So create the expectations by making sincere decisions. And nurture your expectations by never settling for anything less than the best. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.